Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of What She Said right here on redmediaradio.com. And if you're viewing us, then you are tuned in to our podcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Latif, owner of Anaj Health and Beauty, where you can find me on Facebook at INOJ Health and Beauty. I'm also the inventor of What She Said, the card game. The card game for women, about women, invented by this woman. And you can find that on my Facebook page also. So ladies, go ahead and make your purchase so you can get your party and gathering started on a fun note. And today, my special guest co-host is Miss CA Kanooble. So go ahead and introduce yourself and let the listeners know who you are.
Sure. My name is CA Kanooble. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I'm an author, I'm a mom, I'm a comedian, I'm a survivor, and I am a mental health advocate and a patient. But we won't get into that here. We'll get into that later.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about what it is that you do and what you can offer our listeners and our viewers on YouTube. So tonight's topic is that would be a negative. That would be a negative. We're talking about situations where we're either saying out loud or we're saying in our head, yeah, that's going to be a negative, not going to happen. So we're going to first discuss, we're going to get the children out of the way. So, Miss Kanooble, can I call you that?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Whatever's easier for
right.
you.
Let's talk about those children. What are some of the situations where it's just like, yeah, that's going to be a negative?
When my son used to stay up past bedtime, that's me time. See ya.
What she said,
That's going to be a negative.
definitely a negative. Does it always work out that way for me? I have to be honest and say no, but
Worth a shot, though. It's worth a shot.
definitely worth a shot. Um, Let me see. For me, with the children, uh, wanting to hang out with certain people. It's just, you don't want to judge anybody's child, but sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, that's going to be a negative. It can't,
I absolutely agree.
can't do that. Cannot do that. So do you have any services that you actually offer for children or parents that find themselves in that situation?
I offer advice, usually unasked for. So I'm one of those. Yeah, I offer advice. If I see people with their children screaming in the store and they seem to be frustrated, I'll go over and do something silly so the kid stops crying. Things like that, like unwarranted, but not necessarily unwanted.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like an interception.
Right. And you said that you're a mental health advocate. And look, sometimes with those situations with the children, you're like, that would be a negative. Children tend to mess with our mental health sometimes. Sometimes
all the time.
they make us feel like, am I going crazy, or am I being too much of an old-fashioned parent? Am I being too strict? Am I being too loose? What's going on? Or is this child messing with my mental health or what? Like, what's going on here? So with the services that you offer, or you said you're an advocate for mental health, what resources or what words could you give some of our listeners that may be struggling with some mental health issues, and sometimes it may actually involve the children?
Especially when it involves the children, take a step back.
Uh-huh.
When you're getting overwhelmed because your voice starts to raise, you start to feel your blood pressure rise,
yes,
and you just want to launch. Doesn't matter what the launch is, but you just want to launch. You're on go. Take a step back. These are children. They're expressing how they feel the best way they know how. And if they see you pop off that way, that's what they are going to perceive as a correct way to handle that kind of emotion. And that's not what we want to teach our children, because then you deal with it the rest of your life.
Right.
Take a step back, take a breath. Even if you can, advise your child to do the same. It doesn't matter what age they are. If they see you do it, they will follow. Or they'll sit on the floor screaming, but either way, you take a step back and you breathe, because you are the adult.
Yep. What she said.
Best piece of advice.
Yep. What other situations can you think of with children where you're just like, yeah, that would be a negative?
For the most part, I won't say every time, but sleeping over at other people's houses.
What she said.
It's gonna be a negative. It's a no from me.
Yep.
I don't trust anybody.
Said. Yep. Let me think. For me, this is for the daughters.
Yeah, mine's a son, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the daughters, playing in each other's hair. That would be a negative, because who knows what you're going to put in it. Something like they like to play in it, and they can't even put like hair ties in without it getting tangled. And then here I am for 2 hours to prevent cutting it. Now I have to do the job of untangling your hair.
Yeah, I have 2 older sisters. We're each 15 months apart, so I'm sure my mom has spent many nights doing the same. I get it.
Hair product wasted. Got to glob a bunch of conditioner on to make the hair. It's just like, yeah, that's gonna be a negative. You asked to play in your sister's hair. Don't.
Yeah, it's a negative.
Yeah. What else do you got for the children?
For the children, as a negative, putting a leash on my child is a negative.
Oh my God, what she
Not that I'm against it though.
Right.
So do you? There's no shame here. I personally am not walking my child around like a dog. My child, if he runs off, one of 2 things will happen. Either he will realize I'm not behind him, or he will realize I'm not behind him because I'm not chasing you. I'm not. I'm not chasing you. You will learn a valuable life lesson. Now, if it's a dangerous situation, obviously, I'll just snatch him. So I'm gonna chase the kid. If you're watching your kid, the snatch is a parent like a tool. Like that's the number 1 tool in our handbook besides our weird third eye where we always know something's going on when we shouldn't know something's going on, but we do. It's too quiet, something's going on. But that snatch, that's it. I can't tell you how many times my mom snatched me. Sometimes she'd catch me by like the pinch of a clothing, but she'd still snatch me.
Oh my God.
You need to put your kid on a leash to keep them in your
What she said, even though, you know what, years ago with my oldest, my twin boys, they were, oh Lord, all over the place. And I'm guilty of it. I brought the leash in. I went out one time with them and we stopped at my family's house and they were like, what in the, why? Get that leash off my nephews. Why are you walking around with it? It was a total waste of money. And it didn't feel good either, walking around with them on that.
Well, I would say it's okay to take it. Like, say I'm going to Disney World and I have twins or a toddler. Absolutely. If I mean, maybe not a leash, maybe like the backpack thing. Maybe I'd try that. I wouldn't necessarily do like a leash, but I'd do something, whether it be a stroller or I would actually maybe try a leash at that point because there are a lot of people and anything can happen when you're in that highly populated of an area. But also other people walk down the street daily with a leash. Like, go get your leash. Go get your leash. And here goes a toddler going to get a leash. Like, ma'am, we're the ones that keep the kids in the stroller till they're like 17. That child is too big for that stroller and you know it.
Yeah.
You gotta make that child walk.
What she said, not judging nobody, but I've definitely seen, and I'm like, how is the stroller even?
Yeah, that wasn't moving.
Because once they turn about 2, they don't want no stroller anyway. They want to walk. They want to,
When my son was comfortable enough to walk steadily, he was walking. You're walking. Unless we're going to the zoo or something, you're walking.
Right.
If I had to walk, you're going to walk. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna be like the parents who are like, back in my day, I had to walk 6 months. I'm not gonna do all that. Right. But you are gonna walk.
Right. What she said. Yep. And no problem. And it's good exercise. It won't hurt you. It will not hurt you. Let me think before we have some more questions for you with the children. Anything else you could think of the children where it's like that? No, that's definitely gonna be a negative.
Going out and riding bikes with friends. I see way too, especially I have a little boy. He is 10, almost 10. It's a no from me. You're not getting on a bike and riding around with your little friends because anytime I'm driving around and I see little biker gangs, like I like to call them like that, there's nothing positive I'm seeing.
What she said.
And if I get a phone call, we got a problem. Okay, because now you embarrass me in public. Because you're out there on my namesake. All right, I tell my son that all the time. You're representing me. You better act like you're representing me.
What she said. God forbid. You already don't know what they're doing.
My mom used to call that, you better act like you know.
What she said. Yeah, I definitely agree. The bikes. Oh my God. And they be on bikes with motors, little ones. I just walked past the little boy. I said, and they run the red lights. And I'm just like, yeah, you just put my anxiety up to like 10 million.
Yep.
Worried about you, child. I don't know who you are, but I'm hoping that you get home safe because this is not it. That's definitely a negative. I would say wanting to sleep with me past a certain age. It's like, no, that's gonna be a negative.
I agree. That's a good one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
my son does that from time to time if he's sick. But the thing is, he'll wait until I am knocked out. I'm out cold. And then I'll wake up in the morning, I'm like, why am I so cold? Well, because he has taken all of my blankets because he's in my bed where he does not belong. So,
that's a negative. When you say being sick, that just brought up the I don't like being around nobody sick. No matter how much I love you, it's like I gotta stay well.
I gotta pay these bills.
You know, to vomit. If you know you about to vomit and they come right up under you, it's like, no, that would be a negative go. So I'd rather clean it up, please. I don't want it splashing on me. I don't want to smell it.
I don't want no parts. You better make it to the toilet. You better make it to the toilet because I'm not doing it. I have a sensitive stomach. I will vomit. It has happened before with my nephew, actually.
Oh,
it was he like made it to the doorway. And it just went like in the door jamb. It was like it was just in every nook and cranny. And I was just like, I would hate to be the person that's to clean that up. And then I'm like,
yes,
I am the person that's to clean this up. And I like had that realization. I'm like, I am the adult here. Like, ew. You know, I can't.
No. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit more about what it is that you do and what you have to offer?
So during the day, I actually have my own management company. I do social media management, marketing, calendar creation, and maintenance for venues, businesses, and artists. I also create marketing and advertising materials for them, websites, just basically starter pack. I do it for podcasts as well, just to get them kind of their start, and then I let them go like little baby birds. And they fly off and do their own thing. Just really to get them started. It's not a business that I made to make millions of dollars on. It's something that I did just to put a name on it and to clarify on my taxes where I'm making a little extra cheddar from.
Right.
But it's really just to help people. Honestly, it's the same thing on my podcast. It's all about self-empowerment, just being better. So.
Okay. And where can they find your podcast?
Well, you can find everything I do on my website. It's www.cakanooble.com.
All right. And you want to spell that out for them?
Sure. CA, like cat, apple. And Kanooble is KANOOBLE.
Okay. CAKanooble.com. And that's where our listeners can find all of your services but just a little bit more about you, because you also told me that you were a comedian.
I have a lot on that website. I have a book. I'm a published author.
Okay.
I'm actually rewriting it now that I'm in my 30s, and it's coming out next year.
Okay.
To rewrite. I also, I have my management company. I do photography. I have my stand-up shows. I have my podcast. I have my mental health project. Everything is on that website. So it's like a one-stop shop.
Okay. All right. I like that. Scatterbrain like me like that. So all the scatterbrains listening, there you go, right there.
Everything is on there. It makes it organized for me.
All right. Well, we're going to take a brief break, and then we'll be right back with What She Said right here on redmediaradio.com with my special guest co-host, Miss CA Kanooble.
You cannot be a believer until you see your old life and the misery thereof and want to change.
You will find true success and happiness if you have only one goal. There really is only one, and that is this: to fulfill the highest, most truthful expression of yourself as a human being. You want to max out your humanity by using your energy to lift yourself up, your family, and the people around you. Theologian Howard Thurman said it best. He said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive."
All right, everybody, we're back. We're back right here on redmediaradio.com. And me and Miss CA Kanooble are discussing things that would be a negative. We already discussed the children a little bit. We learned a little bit more about our special guest co-host. But now we're going to talk about the women in our lives. The things that we're just like, yeah, I'm sorry, but that would be a negative. That would be a negative. So what do you got?
Gossip.
What she said.
Now, it's okay if you're just making chit chat. It's not the same. I am talking about manipulative and vindictive gossip.
What she
where
said.
You're clearly trying to bring somebody into a negative light. Whether or not I know them. I don't like that. That's stanky butt energy. We don't do that here.
We don't. Not on what she said. No. That is why all of my special guest co-hosts are who they are, because what she said definitely represents us women in a lighter tone and on a positive note, and on the note of let's stick together. So love hearing you say that. Makes me honored to have you as a guest. That's the mindset. That's the mindset that I definitely like. For me, that would be a negative with the women. I mean, it's been a real long time since I've ever been in this situation, but me being going out with you to be your decoy or wingman.
Oh, I love that.
Negative. You're not putting me in harm. Right? You're not.
I'm a great wingman, though.
Great. I'm a better wingman for the males. I feel more comfortable. Like, cool. You want me to be her friend so you can get to know her? Okay. Just if you're too trashy, then I probably won't do it. Like, no, I'm not doing that to her. Like,
I'm the Samantha of my friends group. So if you know what I mean by that, I'm an excellent wingman for anybody. Just because I'm, let's say, young, wild, and free, So I'm a comedian. It's my job to go in and entertain and make connections and meet new people. And everywhere I go outside, I make 6 new friends. I'm like, look, I made friends. We're again,
yeah,
absolutely.
That's right.
So yeah, I love doing things like that, but not if it's just me and them. So I get what you're saying with that. Because it's what am I supposed to do? Especially if you're in a relationship or something. You don't want to just, and even if you're not, you don't want to just stand there by yourself. At least bring one other person.
What she said, and it's awkward. It's awkward because those situations sometimes tend to go left. You're supposed to be the wingman, and the person is acting like they're interested in you. You don't know how to go back into a friend, and it's like, nah, I'd rather not. I'll save myself from that situation right there.
Gotcha.
Let me see. What else you got for the women? Where it's like, nah, that'd be a negative.
Borrowing my clothes. I'm not going to get it back. But it's going to be a negative because you're not going to give it back. And now I got to fight you for my clothes. And I don't like doing that. I shouldn't have to ask you. It should just come back. Same with money. You can even group money. Just anything you're borrowing from me. Money, clothes, man. Kidding on the last part. But, anything you're borrowing from me, I am not going to ask you to give it back. You should just know.
No, to give it back.
And if you don't give it back, that's that stinky booty energy we were talking about.
What she said,
I don't like
I've
that.
honestly never been in that situation.
I mean, I've never either with my girls. My girls are ingrained. We've all been friends for 15 plus years.
Wow.
They are, the friends that I have that are close to me have no choice. They've just been there for that long. They know too much. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're very close knit. We still have a girl chat, and the girl chat's important.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's really nice. I've always admired those type of friendships.
Yeah,
I've always
admired. Say there's no problems. There's problems from time to time, but we talk it out, and that's what matters.
Right. You know what you mean to each other, so it's not worth the stuff we were talking about, gossip and all that. Yeah,
and that's a big part of that gossip thing too. It's just communication. Some women just do not want to communicate. You would rather hold it in and leave subliminal statuses and post things, and I don't have the time to sit here and scope through your page to see if you may or may not be referring to me in a post.
What she said.
If you don't come to me direct and come to me, so to speak, as a woman, then go scratch.
What she said.
Scratch. See you.
Right. On the flip side of that, I don't like when I feel that I'm in a situation where I can't, because everybody's not approachable.
That's true.
The calling out, to Me personally, I'm not gonna say I like to be called out, but if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me. Let me think about what I did. Let me, at least if I feel like it was right, I'll speak up for myself. But I don't like when, if you do approach someone about something that, you know, they're wrong, or you felt like you were done wrong, and instead of her, you know, they get yappy about it, or,
Yeah.
you know, start saying stuff that they've been thinking
Way too
about you
long.
since day one. So
Yeah, saying how you feel is never supposed to turn into an argument, but not everybody can handle constructive criticism.
yeah.
Unfortunately. Like, I'm just telling you your butt looked fat in that dress, but that may not be a negative thing. That's up to your interpretation. I'm just letting you know my perspective. Some girls can't handle that.
What she said. What else we got for the women where it's like, yeah, that would just be a negative?
Sharing men.
Oh, what she said.
Even if, like, first of all, me and friends and, let's say, other friends, special friends,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mix any of them at all.
What she said.
Period. We're not, no. If my friends even breathed in their direction in that way, that man might as well be dead to me. Because, or woman, for whatever the case may be, that person is gone out of my eyes completely.
Yeah.
If I had, like, that person could have looked like a god on
What
earth.
she said.
And I would just, bleh, he's immediately gross. Because you touched my friend, even if they didn't. In my head, you touch them, and therefore that's gross. Because then it's a competition for me. Very competitive. So if I find out my friends have messed with someone, and then I now I have to, like, leave my mark. You know what I mean? To me, it's not true. It's just me, but that's how I perceive things. So I always keep them very separate. But women do not always do that, and I don't understand that. Why would you want that?
Yeah.
Your friend touched me, you know?
I think it's really kind of sick, because I've definitely seen situations where that happened, but the girl that went behind the other girl is kind of like some kind of, I don't want to say obsession, but maybe like a jealousy thing, or a inside competition she has with her. So it makes her feel like she's on her level. If I can sleep with the guy that she slept with, then that means I'm on her level or better.
I mean, she's got low self-esteem.
Yep, what she said, absolutely.
That is not bad female dog, big dog energy. Like usually there's, like, words in there that I'm filling in for, obviously, but you know, bad girl energy. That's not it.
What she said. So what kind of services, out of all the services that you provide, what would you say would be, since we're talking about the women, what services do you think that would be more geared towards your female clients, or your female prospective clients?
Honestly, it's my book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's I'll call it the garden tool handbook for, you know, intents and purposes, but it's about having that time of your life where you really go out and you explore and you find out what you want, what you don't, and who you are completely. Mm-hmm. It is play and self-empowerment, you know? It's just really, how could you possibly know everything you want in life if you don't know about everything there is in life that's being offered to you? You don't. So, and that doesn't have to be a promiscuous thing. It could be anything. And I mean, yeah, that's more women listen to it than men, but there are things in there for men too that, you know, they could listen to. But really my book more than anything, because it's just guidelines. Like, I say, always keep a hair tie around the wrist. It's funny when you think about it, but in reality, it just means to be prepared. Wherever you're going, be prepared.
But not necessarily for what?
That. Yeah. Another one is to, if there's not somebody attractive at work for me to look at, then I'm not working there, or I'm putting a mirror at my desk, because I'm not going anywhere that I'm not having a good time. And basically that just means to pick a job that you want. Pick something that brings you joy. Mm-hmm. You cannot go to work every day and spend 40 hours a week somewhere where you don't even have nothing nice to look at. That's what that means. You know, they have lessons behind each one that kind of, they're funny and they're witty like that, but they are real lessons that I learned throughout my life. And I follow them wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I get it. So, like, with the each point, you may say one thing, but you don't mean literally that. So your book sounds like it's for the open-minded.
Yeah. Well, it's comedy and self-empowerment. So I break it down a little bit why it's more than that, but I'll say it like the hair tie, what that's for, and that's a real thing too. That's a real reason to have it too, because that's how you found a garden tool and not a paid tool or something else. So, there's 3 different types, but we'll get into that. That's a different conversation. That's a girl chat.
That's definitely good for a man that is out there looking for the one. Maybe if he sees the hair tie and sees certain ways, he may say, yeah, I might not.
That's true.
This might just be a night of fun, but
well, that's the difference too, is that garden tool, you could be that for everyone or for just one person. It's just about being who you are with no apologies, basically, is really what that is. So they're top tier.
That's life. Let's say. That is what life is. Once you realize that, life becomes a lot funner for you.
Yeah, when you step into your power,
yeah,
you'll start wearing heels more, I promise you. That's like the first thing. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Heels on the floor sound like power. And they could be the tiniest little wedges. It don't matter. As long as they make the click clack when you walk.
Yep.
That's all you need.
I absolutely agree. What she said. So you have any more that would be a negative when it comes to the women before we go to our next break?
Lying.
What she said.
Like in the sense of making plans or rescheduling or just blowing them off completely. I don't know. They're your friends. That is an absolute no from me. That's a negative. That is a heck of a negative, because that affects your self-esteem. This is your friend. This is someone you consider close to you, and they didn't even care about your feelings. Nobody wants to feel that way. That's stinky booty energy, and it's a negative for me.
What she said. Let me see my last one. My last one. This is just I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm logical. Maybe I'm being a little illogical. But that would be a negative would be being, I don't know how to being, too friendly with someone that doesn't like me, but you're calling yourself my friend, but you're making me feel awkward. I mean, that's just like probably rule number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially because I know the person I am. I don't do bad things to people. So if someone just doesn't like me, you're like making a point to, it's like that would just be a negative. There's no way to flip that for me.
Yeah, I agree, because the way to look at it, the way I've always been taught is when you get up from the table, guess who's the top of the conversation? It's going to be you. And if you're my friend, you're not going to get up from that table. I know it. Then you're not my friend. And it's not like a pick her, pick me kind of thing, but we're not going to be in the same situations together. Like my friends know that, because I have no filter, and I will get somebody into trouble. It will not be me. I will hurt feelings, and I do not apologize. So, I have this thing where I insult people in the most business casually way possible. Like I'll say, like, with all due respect, which is none, things like that. But yeah, if they're no, that would be a no for me too. It's a negative.
Yeah, I've definitely called, well, now I'm very busy with my life, but when I, was more social with friends and stuff like that, but there's definitely been times where I put probably people on the spot. Like, I know y'all be talking about me. What y'all be saying? I'm not mad. Well, I want to know. I want to know what you're saying about me. So.
I love that too, because I'll step up and say, oh, my teeth are funny. Yeah, I know, right? Like this one is a little, and I'm in it with you. Now it's funny. Right. Now everybody's laughing. You're not insulting me. Now you feel stupid, to be fair.
Right. What she said.
It takes their power. I love it.
Yep, it does. And it lets people know, hey, I'm confident. I don't know about you, but I'm confident with who I am. Yeah.
I tell people I am a hard 7 out of 10 on a bad day, and that is being, humble. So.
What she said.
Period.
What she said. Because what you think is the only opinion anyway.
Period. And I had somebody actually tell me that I should think of myself as a 10 out of 10. And I was like, no, that's conceited. Nobody's a 10 out of 10. Nobody is.
What she said.
7 out of 10 is fair.
Right. I completely agree. So we're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're going to talk about the men, the things that would be a negative right here on What She Said on redmediaradio.com. You've busted your ass to get to this stage.
Now that you've made it, where is the support?
Where are your family and friends?
Where are the people that you dropped everything for to be just there for them?
Where is the love and support that you need?
Why do you even care? At this stage, why do you care?
World of Red Media has your back.
I gotta ask you again, why do you even care? Because World of Red Media LLC has marketing and promotion packages that makes it easy. Contact World of Red Media LLC, the offices of World of Red Media LLC, 518-291-9186. Because I'm going to tell you something. No matter what they do, we have your back. World of Red Media Marketing. We have your back. I don't care about those other people. I just don't. Contact us. We got your back. Marketing and promotions made easy.
All right, everybody, we're back having a fun, lively, very real conversation with Miss CA Kanooble. And where can they find you at again?
CAKanooble.com. C like cat, A like apple, KANOOBLE.
All right. And what services do you offer?
I have a management company for venues, artists, or podcasters, marketing, advertising, setting everything up, digital, all that. Anything you could think of, honestly. I do photography. I have my own podcast. I take guests on. I'm a one-woman stop shop, jack of all trades.
Okay. So, before we talk about the men, let's learn a little bit more about you. What is something that you want the listeners to know about you? Your services, what it is, what's something that you can really help people with?
So without getting into too many details, I'm a violent crime survivor.
Okay.
I should not have lived past 18.
Wow.
And I did. And there's a reason for it. It's because I was meant to help people tell their story.
Right.
And I just did mine this year, actually. And I did it on YouTube. It's actually on my YouTube page.
Wow.
It felt really good. So my point of being here, I think at this point, is really to be a mental health advocate and help people not keep a secret like that. I did for 12 years.
Wow.
And it did some damage to my brain I cannot fix. So I want to prevent that for anybody. And the aloneness that you feel with mental health problems. Nobody wants to speak up about it.
Right.
Because then you'll hear about the church, or you hear about, oh, you're fine, suck it up. There's always something instead of, are you okay? I want to prevent that.
Right. So how do you work with your clients? Is it something you do virtual? Do they come to you? Is this something that's outside of the United States? Someone could reach out to you?
Yep. So I have done interviews with people all over the world for the past 6 months to do interviews to give an in-depth look of what life looks like with different mental health conditions and symptoms. I've also made a podcast that's informational, makes it easily digestible to understand symptoms, what it might look like in you and someone else, what you can do and what to avoid, as far as triggers are concerned. And I also have a page and a website that I made with educational material to go in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. The page is full of memes, it's full of quotes, it's full of infographics. It's a one-stop shop. And I have people from the suicide hotline working the messenger because I feel like it brings it to a personal level instead of talking over the phone and trying to figure out what can bring somebody back from that point. They're on their Facebook page. They're looking at their likes, their dislikes, their family nearby, just in case, to do a wellness check, anything they need. It brings that in the moment emergency a lot quicker. It's just a lot quicker of a turnaround, I feel like. So I know at some point when it's fully up, because I just launched it, it will be kind of revolutionary, but for now, baby steps.
Right. And to our listeners, if you're listening, I would strongly suggest you go ahead and visit her website because you guys can't see, but except for when you put it up on YouTube. But I'm just looking at your face and I can see that you're passionate about it. I see the smile come across your face.
It's been a long work.
Like instantly shifts. So, I mean, that's a beautiful thing because it's not something you're just doing because, it's the hype or, and you're not targeting one area. You're telling people, hey, if you're having, if you're a trauma survivor or you're just dealing with mental issues, or you're not even sure if it's mental issues. Because sometimes I worry about my own mental health sometimes. You can be overwhelmed like that.
And my page has Talk It Out Tuesdays. People can just jump on the live on Facebook and talk it out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a paid service. And I am not a doctor, to be fair. It's not a paid service. You can go on my website, you can submit a form, and I'll call you. I'll email you. I'll send a messenger pigeon. I'll send $1 via, UPS. I'll do what I got to help. That's all I can do.
What she said. Now, the lighten things up. What about the comedian part of you?
So I've always been kind of just like I am in this conversation. I just throw little jokes in. I got to get my little jokey jokes in.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it kind of deflects. I don't like things to get too serious.
Mm-hmm.
Usually doesn't work out my benefit, but you know what? It is what it is. 3 years ago, I did my first on stage open mic, and a good friend of mine I grew up with gave me the time on stage, and I killed it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I killed it. And I've just been doing comedy up and down East Coast since. So yeah, now I do shows, and I do skits, and my podcast has comedy in it too. So I just act a fool on Facebook, honestly. Most of my comedy's on my Facebook. Just because. Why not?
Right.
Life's too short.
Right. I love watching stand-up comedians just on TV. But one thing I noticed that they all say is that they turn their pain into comedy. They were saying, a lot of them were saying that I actually watched the documentary where different comedians, and some of them were saying where their family was kind of like, I guess, offended for them or questioning, why would you talk about that? But they were saying that it's almost like medicine to them.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Okay.
My family has done just that.
Really?
But you know what? We have to learn to laugh at our pain. Because otherwise it will eat us alive. Believe it or not, a lot of comedians suffer from mental health conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to say makes us so funny. I like to say that a grippy sock vacation is a rite of passage for a comedian, or a mental health visit or meds or whatever the case may be, just because you're dealing with something very heavy. Using comedy as an outlet is a healthy way to kind of not just poke fun at it, but bring awareness to what you're feeling.
Right.
You'll realize that, sometimes when comedians are talking about things, yes, they're making jokes about it, but it's something that has been bothering them. And by having other people laugh with them, it makes it easier to handle.
What she said.
So.
What she said, definitely, because it's a lot of jokes. I like to laugh. So when comedians get up there and they talk about, the hard times and stuff, sometimes I'm crying laughing because it's like, oh my God, they're mad.
Relatable.
You're like, oh, that's just how it is. And, you're laughing, and that laughter actually cures that memory of the bad or the traumatic part of that memory. Just that one good laugh makes you realize, hey, I'm here today. I'm laughing. So.
And I'm not alone.
Yep. Right. So, on that note, let's talk about the men, the things that would be a negative. Like that.
Let me get my pen and paper.
Negative.
Hold on. There's so many. Am I starting off?
Go ahead.
Now, remember, I'm 31 when I say this.
Okay.
Asking for a Snapchat. I am 31 years old, and I pay my own phone bill now. Snapchat, you don't need to have a phone plan for. You better ask me for my number. Like the actual number. Or
I don't even know about Snapchat. I still to this day don't know how to do Snapchat. I know nothing about Snapchat. I just know.
I mean, it's not to say I don't use Snapchat, but I use it for like my little sister. She's 15. 15 people. Yeah, it's a negative.
Yeah, I figured it was something for the children. I don't know. It just sounds like it's Snapchat. Like it sounds like something for younger people.
Yeah.
Let me see. For me, the men, that would be a negative. Shoot. That's a shame. It shouldn't be, our brain shouldn't be like that overflown with like, oh, it's so much. It's so much. But let me see. Something basic for the men. That would be a negative. asking about my little sister, that would be a negative.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't like that.
It's weird.
I don't like that. Even you could be a good guy. It's like, why don't you ask one of her friends? Because naturally I go into that protective big sister.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now you're like spelling out Lorena Bobbitt in Google just so you get the message. I get it. Yeah. I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's like just in a conversationally way, it's still weird.
Yeah.
Why do you want to know?
Why? Yeah. It's like, your face, everything just changes. Like you could be having the best time with this person.
Yeah.
And as soon as they what did you just say?
Now you're looking up police records.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, another one. Let's see. Asking to borrow my car.
Oh, yeah, what she said. That's
Listen, scrub.
body.
TLC had said, we don't want no scrubs. So, it's a no.
What she said, yeah, that's no. Especially if you of a certain lifestyle. Like, you're not getting my car taken because you wanted to be, we know I know that marijuana is legal and stuff now, but back then when I was in that, like, I need my car.
Beyond all that, what do you need my car for that you can't take the bus to go do?
What she said.
You don't want to take the bus, then maybe you should have your own car.
What she said.
Now dropping someone off somewhere, that's fine. I am taking my car with me though.
What she said. Let me see. The men. But negative. It would be a negative. I mean, this is very hypothetical. I'm definitely not in this situation, but wanting to hang out with my children, that would be a negative. Like if thank God I've never been in this situation. I wasn't single long enough, but
yeah, that's never
single women, just getting to know a man, or even if there is not even a relationship or a teacher or whoever, like that would be a negative. That's never.
Weird.
No.
That's wet sock energy.
Yeah.
Wet sock energy.
Yeah.
Weird, uncomfortable. It's no.
Yep.
I'm gonna use that more often. Wet sock energy. I like that. Let's see another one. Trying to assert dominance in public.
Oh, sorry. She said though.
Now, mind you, I already have a hard time respecting men because I've been through some stuff. Caused by a man. So if a man even like points at me, I will then have to. It's like a boss battle for me after that. Now I have to, at 5'3", beat my chest and establish my dominance, and I will every time. I will do that. Professional, courteous destruction, and it will be petty because I am and can be absolutely petty. But I don't like that the alpha guys. The ones you see in public, they're like really talking down to these girls. And I mean, I understand the lifestyle, the, let's say, KINK lifestyle. That's still not okay even there. There's no consent for everybody around you. That's not okay. So it's never okay. The alpha guys, they always consider themselves alphas. That's how you know. If they say they're an alpha male, ladies, run. It is 7 red flags in one.
What she said, yeah, because that can quickly turn to abuse.
It does.
Not saying that it always does, but
most of the time, yeah. It does most of the time.
The day and time we're living in with our generation, these younger men don't understand the difference of being a man in control and taking lead versus taking it to a different level, which is abuse.
I put it this way when I tell people about it. These younger men don't understand the difference between having the power in a relationship and having the control. Yes. You can have the power, but the woman has the control.
What she said.
If she does not have the control, and you have power and control, that is abuse. That's the best way I can sum it up. I hope that's better.
I definitely don't like that. This is would be a negative. Having me walk on eggshells when I'm around you because the opposite sex is around. I don't like seeing women. You can always tell they're scared to look. It's like, honey, lift your head up. You're out in public. You need to know, and it's like, you wonder well, I wonder what he's going to do to her when they get back to the car or whatever, because, I've definitely been a that situation, way back when as a cashier, and you can just tell like something's going on. Like she's not interacting with me. Like she's scared to look at me in my eyes. Like, they're scared to look, and he's just standing there like almost like checking her out. Like, I dare you lift your head up and look to the left because that man is over there, or
just in general.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Those are the men. I'm telling you, I embarrass them men. And that's why I have trouble working public wise, because it is hard when you're in that position. You're a cashier, or you're a waitress, or you're whatever you are, and you see that, and there is nothing you can do.
Heartbreaking.
It's devastating, especially as women, because they look so powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no control, clearly, over the situation.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a very in your face I'm a very intimidating person.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I get angry. I don't even get upset. I get angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't understand them, how they feel, because these hands are buy one, get one free for anyone, man or woman. The only exception are children. These hands are buy one, get one free. Okay. So I have a really hard time with that. And I try not to work in the public too much like that for that reason. I do event and project coordination. I do events and things like that. That's fine. But if I see something like that, they got to go, because I can't let that affect me and how I feel in that moment.
I get more upset when it's somebody. I'll go harder for somebody else than myself.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I don't.
But I go hard for myself too.
Yeah.
One, get one free.
All right. So before we end it, what else? What else about Miss CA Kanooble? What else? What did you not tell us?
I mean, I'm a mom. I have a 10-year-old son. I don't know if I mentioned that. I am a Cub Scout den leader.
Okay.
Ladies, I'm a single parent, so I got to be the one to go.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Do not do it. It teaches great skills for your child. Your child, if you have, especially a boy, and there's not a father figure around,
mm-hmm.
It's definitely a great tool. It has taught my son a lot. There's a lot of male influence. But I'm going to need you to understand that when you go on these camping trips, it is you with a bunch of men, and men fart a lot, and they laugh, no matter what age they are.
Yes, they do.
We went to the Franklin Institute, and it was literally an all-night fart fest. I was the only female there, and I was really questioning my choices in life. And I've never done that, Usually I'm just like, not my best work, and then carry on. That acknowledgement and carry on. This, I was like, I think I made a mistake here. I was embarrassed as like the women coming to check on you because you're overnight in the museum. And here they're ripping it still and laughing, giggling. Like, those are 50-year-old men. Embarrassing.
Yes, they do. Oh, that's so funny. That's funny. They really do versus girls. My daughters, even up to my 14-year-old, like if I smell, I'm like, did you? And they're like, they look so ashamed.
They're like, oh.
Yeah, and the younger ones even cry a little bit. It wasn't. I'm like, I know it was you. I did it. I'm like,
I wish I knew what that was. Because my sister does that. She's been married for, I gotta say, close to like 7 years at this point. And she still does not like rip it in front of her husband. I'm like, I will fart on your husband. Like, stop doing this. Like, if you don't rip it right now, I'm going to freak out. Stop setting that tone for the rest of us. Because if I got to rip it, I'm ripping.
I might not.
If I can, I'll leave the room. But it's not going to be quiet. I'm not going to, like, diminish if I got to do something because of a man. He farts too. And I don't understand why women do that. But I like to think, like, I am a whole different breed, honestly. My behaviors. Not a good one either. Definitely a mutt, like a mix.
It's all right. That's the best way to be. But one more time before we end this fun conversation and very real. Where can they find you at, Miss CA Kanooble?
Well, you can find me on all social media platforms under C like cat, A like apple, Kanooble, or you can go to cakanooble.com. That's KANOOBLE. And if you're specifically interested in the mental health project, you can go to mentallyKillproject.org.
All right. Well, this has been What She Said right here on redmediaradio.com. And I'm your host, Latif, owner of Anaj Health and Beauty. You can find me on Facebook at INOJ Health and Beauty. That's also where you can find What She Said, the card game. The card game for a woman, about women, invented by this woman. And this has been What She Said. Tonight's topic was That Would Be a Negative with our special guest co-host, Miss CA Kanooble. So check her out. Go ahead to her website. And one more time, where is it?
www.cakanooble.com.
All right. Until next week, let's vibe out.
Ethereal Collection.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.
Ethereal Collection, the fashion line inspired by Red Media Radio.